Welcome to the Life Chat Podcast, seeking the truth with Derek Powell, navigating you through. Every Wednesday night, new topics ignite. Join the journey, let's take flight. Bringing insights that change our view. Derek's voice, clear and true. Tune in each week, discover new light. Life Chat Podcast, reach a new height.
Welcome once again, everybody. Thank you for joining Life Chat Podcast. Thank you for being a part of my episode for the night. And I've been sharing this post about this tonight's episode on health and fitness with Mr. Wilfredo Pinkston. But first, before we get into all that, I wanted to just show y'all what I've been into for the last few minutes. I've been trying to get myself pumped up for this episode for the night, and that's about all y'all get is those three right there, right? That's about all y'all get. But I just want to say thank you for being on the podcast for the night, man. Everybody, Mr. Wilfredo Pinkston is here, fitness expert, very informative individual that I had to reach out to and decide whether he was going to be available, because I know he's a very busy individual. I see a lot of your posts, man. Actually, I saw a post today that I want to talk about in just a few minutes, but I want you to give people that will be watching and the people that are going to be watching later a little bit of information about who you are. Who is Wilfredo Pinkston? Just start off with, where are you from? How did you? I really want to know, when did you discover this? When did you discover fitness and health as a passion?
Okay. My name's, as you said, my name's Wilfredo Pinkston. On all platforms, I'm under Willpower, WILPWR. For me, I've been in the health and fitness for over 30 years. But as far as taking it serious and being consistent, which is a whole different thing, it will be like the last 4 or 5 years. And that makes a difference, because a lot of times, going to the gyms, there was times that I had gym memberships. I would train other people. I might go to the gym maybe 3 months, and then I wouldn't go back to the gym maybe another couple months for myself, but I'll be training other people. So I got really serious about it, just consistent 4 years being consistent with it. And it was more so dealing with health. That's what really, my personal health, that's what pushed me further into it.
And since you mentioned that, the part about your own personal health, and you didn't mention fitness for yourself, you mentioned health about yourself. And that's the part that stuck out to me. And the reason I mentioned that was because I saw a post that you put up about starting a challenge. If I'm not mistaken, it was 10 people, a 10-person challenge. And can you give them a little bit more about what that challenge is about?
Yeah, it's basically what I want to do is, and it's going to go more in detail, and I put more information out as time goes on. But I want to start a challenge with 10 people starting off as social proof, just to build off of, and I want to help people get off of, healed from sugar diabetes, along with high blood pressure and high cholesterol. I have so many people I went to school with, people I grew up with, people I've been out there in the streets with, that I know that has a lot of elements that's going on, and many of them have died, heart attacks, strokes, and even my mother who presently has sugar diabetes. And I just want to be able to help people to get off it, because I know the way to get off it. I know that it's not a life sentence. I know that it's basically a way of life, and you could change it by eating, how you eat. And for me, it was, eating a lot of stuff that I used to eat, like a lot of processed foods, um, a lot of ramen noodles. I end up getting high blood pressure. high cholesterol. And the doctors, all they talk about is remedying everything with a pill. And
Period.
these pills never heal you. It just maintains what you have. So that was always a big problem for me. And then I understood as time went on that, doctors, they practice medicine. They don't practice healing. And that's my thing is getting off. And I want to show people that you can actually, I don't care whether you got type 1 diabetes or type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, you can be healed from that by way of what you eat, your diet. And it's been proven already. It's been done. It's much research out there and proof out there already. But I want to be able to help people. And I just feel a big need to be able to do that, and because I have the knowledge and understanding of how to, I want to also share that with others.
So, in saying all that, was that your ultimate reasoning for choosing to become vegan?
Yes,
And
that
what
was my why.
also with that question, I wanted to know what have you seen? What type of benefits have you found for yourself as far as your choice to become vegan?
From that, I mean, I think more clearly. I'm more agile. I'm much quicker. I feel better. I feel much more healthier. I don't have high blood pressure, no high cholesterol. All that's been done with. And initially, it was a documentary that I seen some years ago, and it was called Game Changers. I watched it on Netflix, and I definitely implore people to look at it. It's called Game Changers on Netflix. But anyway, I had seen that one night, and I said, you know what? Let me try this for 30 days. That was just my initial approach to it. And 30 days turns into 4.5 years later now. So, and I love it, man. And I thank God that, that was put in me to stay with it. And it wasn't a struggle for me at all. And again, people, me being 6'3", I'm 260 pounds. A
Yeah,
lot of
you're a
people
big dude,
ask me,
man.
a
You're
lot of
definitely a
people,
big dude.
thank you, bro. A lot of people ask the question, like, how do you maintain that size being a vegan? Like, but I always go back to, like, look at a gorilla. That gorilla 10 times stronger than a man, but he eats veggies and leaves. Look at an elephant. Same thing, giraffe, hippo, all the biggest animals in the land in the world, they don't eat no meat. They eat nothing but leaves and vegetables. So I want to be able to show people that you can still have high, keep muscle size, get strong, and continue to get stronger and bigger just by being a vegan, eating vegetables and fruits, as opposed to processed foods and a whole bunch of stuff that's just not good for you and eventually going to show up sooner or later in your life in a wrong way.
And, but since you mentioned that, man, honestly, I had a doctor's appointment yesterday, and I was
Mm,
actually kind of surprised that all my blood work and everything came back and levels were normal and everything was all right.
wonderful.
But my cholesterol is a little elevated, only by a few points.
Mm,
But you know, being elevated is elevated. It don't matter. And
absolutely.
especially
Absolutely.
being a person of color, we tend to have that issue a lot between blood pressure and cholesterol, and
Absolutely.
it's difficult with changing a diet because once you're used to, just like anything else, once you're used to something and you had the mindset, it's kind of hard to get out of that mindset.
That's right.
Um,
That's right.
so with that being said, um, is there some type of like do you deal with like supplements, or is there a way that you eased into it, or did you just go full force into changing your diet, your way you eat?
No, I literally went full force into it. Again, my why was my health. And when I started seeing things, like, I used to fluctuate between 290, 300 pounds. That was my normal weight. I was rolling around with. And my biggest, I was 320, but I was also doing a lot of powerlifting during that time. So, the thing about it is just throwing weight around in the gym. That's all we're concerned about, throwing the weight around, moving the weight from point A to point B. But there was times I would tie my shoe or tie my boots. Next thing you come up, you're out of breath almost. You know what
That's
I
me
mean? It
now.
just, yeah, you start, you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
You start realizing these different things, man, and it becomes, start to become detrimental to you. And I just realized that I needed a change. I knew as I started seeing things happening around me, like family members, different people, as I said earlier, people I went to school with, having heart attacks. I mean, one guy having a heart attack as young as 21 years old had a massive heart attack. You know what I mean? Thank God that person is still around, but the many other ones are not. Many other ones are in the hospital right now, bedridden, with limbs cut off because of sugar diabetes, all starting from that. So that was me. I went full fledged into it. Again, my initial approach was just 30 days, and it turned into, as I said, 4.5 years later now. Um, and it wasn't as hard as I thought it would be, but when it comes to my health, that was really my push. I wanted to be done with this high blood pressure. I didn't want to take no pills for the rest of my life. I just wanted to change these things. And as I started doing more and more research, I started realizing that it's a way of life. You know, your food can be your medicine, your diet. That's what it starts with, is your diet. There's many people that go to the gym. I was at 290, 300. I was going to the gym, working out and going hard, but I still had high blood pressure. I still had high cholesterol. So, but what the problem is your diet. That's the most important thing, is the diet. It's just like a car. Say you got a sports car. Okay. That sports car looks good. You know it can go fast. It got that V12 engine, that V8 engine in it. But if you put that regular unleaded in there, it's not going to
Yeah.
perform right.
Right.
You know what I mean? But you put that high test in there, you're gonna get this full performance out of it. It's the same thing with our body. You know what I mean? What you put in is what you are. So I wanted the best and starting to create the best version of myself. And that was the process. You know what I mean? The diet.
I like that analogy too with the car.
Thank
That was like, and I can tell that was off the top of the dome. I'm thinking that was off top of the dome. So you
you.
kind of quick with
Absolutely.
it.
Thank you.
Also, um, we met a long time ago, man, and you mentioned, we met a long time ago, and when I first met you, you was big then, you know, big guy. Back then you had the beard. To me, it was kind of like but it really wasn't. And you helped at the time. You helped me a lot in with with certain aspects of the workout process, and you had a lot of information. You still have a lot of information, and I just want to tell you that I'm proud of you for continuing to move on with your passion and what you do. And it's not just for you. You help other people because, as I saw, you're also a personal trainer,
Yeah,
and so obviously you help other folks get to where they want to be to reach their goal.
for
But you
sure.
mentioned something a few minutes ago about going to the gym, and the way that you worded it was, this is what you said, going in and throwing the weights around and doing this and doing that. And as soon as you said throwing the weights around, I had a thought of, a lot of times we go to the gym, and let me get back to this first.
Mhm.
The gym, and we get the dumbbells and we do this, but we might be strong and we can pick the weight up, we can move the weight around, but sometimes the technique might not be right. And that's why
Absolutely.
you wonder why people, like, they have big, strong guys and then they end up hurting themselves. So
Absolutely.
is strength does strength outdo technique, or is it vice versa?
The strength outdo technique? No. Technique outdoes strength,
Right.
because
Absolutely.
you have a lot of guys who are small, but using the proper technique can probably bench a lot more, say for a bench press, could bench a lot more than someone who's my size or bigger, just through technique. So technique is important first when it comes to
In
that.
any in any aspect. I was
Absolutely.
just thinking about that because I like a lot of times I remember we used to go to the gym, and I used to tell you uh that you were killing me with those skull crushers. I couldn't handle those skull crushers, and they were killing me, man. I'm trying to, and I can't push them, but the more I think about it, you kept trying to explain to me about the technique, and I'm thinking that I could just throw these weights around. And initially, when to start out, you got them, you got them, you got them, but then the
Right,
technique is not there anymore, and it's
right.
like it start getting rough, and then I end up hurting myself, you know.
Mhm.
Or the next day, I'm sore, but not in a good way.
Right,
Um,
right.
So with that, I wanted to lead into something else, which was um, a lot of people go to the gym and not familiar with supplements. You know, they see a commercial and they see the big guys on there with the muscles and this and that, but they're not familiar with the supplement.
That's
Uh,
right.
can you give some information about supplements, about how to use the supplements? Is there a combination?
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, and I'll put this out there too. For me, I've always been natural all my life. I've always been. I've had opportunities to take steroids and TRT and all those different things that you see a lot of professionals out there and a lot of people is using out there, and it's much younger now. The days these guys are using that stuff, but I was always scared of that. I was always scared, and then as I done research more, I realized that it can affect your blood. People having heart attack. I mean, you got professionals who died on the stage. These were IFBB pros, you know, from taking steroids and just a cocktail of different type of things for muscle enhancers. So I never was a big fan, and I never pushed that at all. Never promoted it. For me, only thing I've ever took in my life is protein, which I take now. I take a plant-based protein. Um, I get more of my protein from foods though. I also take creatine. I take a scoop of creatine, and I'll take some BCAAs, which is branched amino acids. Those are the only things that I take, and that I've been taking for years now.
All right. You mentioned these different things, and a couple of them I never even heard of. I don't, but that's out of my realm. I'm not a professional. So, um, but you mentioned about these different supplements, and I think we talked before about my my lifestyle was I was I'm a recovering addict, right? So with these supplements, for people that might be recovering from substance abuse, is there anything that they would have to be leery of or cautious of when using substances? Because a lot of times we don't know. So if you don't know, you have to ask, right?
Absolutely,
So
absolutely.
is there any? Are you familiar with that? Is there anything that we have to look out for as far as supplements as being a recovering addict?
No, not at all. That's nothing that will affect you in any kind of way, such as like causing you to have a bad urine or causing someone to relapse in any kind of way. Not at all. I mean, creatine, you simply it's in the scoop. It's 5 grams a scoop. You put it inside water, preferably, or any type of drink, and mix it up. And all creatine is your body naturally produces
Gotcha.
creatine. You know, but what happens is by taking the creatine and putting it there, all it does is it allows more water to fill into the muscle areas, the muscle bellies, to help spread up and also cause you to become stronger too. So there's nothing wrong with that. Branch amino acids, we normally get it through our foods. A lot of people get it through like meats and so forth, but because I don't eat any kind of meats or animal products, that's what I do. I take it from the supplements.
All right.
Yeah.
So and mentioned the recovering addict part. I just wanted to put it. I always try to pepper this in there as well because part of my story is addiction. Have you ever
Right.
dealt with addiction? Have you ever dealt with addiction from either personal or family or friends? And um, if so, what was your approach to that addiction? To addiction, period.
Sorry about that.
What is your approach to addiction life to lifestyle of addiction? If you have you ever dealt with addiction personally or through family or friends?
Me personally, I've never dealt with addiction personally, but I'll have friends, I've had fan members who have, from heroin addictions to crack cocaine addictions to powder cocaine, um, even, fentanyl, what's out there right now with so many young people dying from and getting caught up in. And is there any specific question other than, I mean, going into that, as far as like, the people that I know?
No, just have you like how? What is your take on the addictive side of life? What is? I just wanted. I always try to just throw pepper this in there because, um, like I mentioned before, a lot of times a lot of us that are recovering addicts, um,
Hmm.
the first thing we want to do is try to get our body back. So this is why I asked that question. We want to try to get our body back, so we end up going to the gym or we try to work out doing these different types of things. So that's the reason why I asked that question is because what is your approach to um, new helping people get into the fitness lifestyle now that they're separating themselves from the addiction?
Okay, that's a good question. I think that's a really good approach. I think that individuals who struggle with drug addictions in a bad way, whether you out there ripping and running the streets and you out there on a drug binge, say 3-4 days in a row, no sleep and so forth. You're losing weight. You're not eating good like you normally would had you not been on addiction. I think working out in the gym is very important because it helps build self-esteem too. I mean, it helps you feel good about yourself. When you're out there bettering yourself, you start seeing progress. It pushes you to start going further and further in that direction. So I think working out, being in the gym, being around other like-minded people who's also doing that, it just encourages you to want to become the best version of yourself. To create a different you. As opposed to what so many people may have seen you look like when you were maybe out there ripping and running the streets and doing what you were doing at that time. So and I have trained many brothers and sisters who've been down that road before, and to see them now, it's like it's a whole new them, man. And it just encourages them to keep on in that road once they see the before and after. You know what I mean?
Right. So I mean, but if we're gonna stick on that question just one more time.
Sure.
What is the advice that you would give somebody that's just now, just trying to get themselves into working out? Anybody, not it don't have to be a recovering addict, but anybody that just wants to get involved with trying to better get their beach body right for the summer. You
Yes,
know,
sir.
um,
Yes, sir.
get their legs right, get the body right. But us as men, first thing we go for is the arms and chest.
Sure.
But
Sure.
what advice would you have for somebody that just wants to try to get their body right? That's just starting out.
It's a couple things. One of the things, for me anyway, coming from a spiritual background, I would always say that, this temple, this housing that we have, it's not ours. It's just borrowed. And one of the things is that's very important for us is to take care of it while we're here on this earth. And I let a lot of brothers and sisters know that, many people don't have the money to afford a gym membership or whatever. And although there are, like, say, like centers, like in Wilmington, Delaware, they have a West Center City, which has a gym that opens up early in the morning and it's there to about 5 in the evening. That's free. But many people can't get there. Many people don't live in Wilmington. So one thing I always encourage is you can always do push-ups. Everything you can do pretty much in the gym, you could do at home. You could do squats, standing squats, body weight. You could do pull-ups. You can go to a park, a local park, do pull-ups. I've done that before. Going to the park and just doing pull-ups, push-ups, doing dips, all these different things, calisthenics. And that's something that I always incorporate within my training with weight training is calisthenics. It hits your body much different than someone who's just constantly in the gym just pushing the weights. So again, I always encourage brothers and sisters, man, just start working on yourself. Don't start off small. Don't look at the whole mountain, man. Just start where you're at and start doing baby steps, push-ups, again, dips, squats, body squats. Um, but again, I always go back to your diet. That's the most important thing. That's what fuels you to be able to continue to keep going on. Um, Hopefully, I answered your question.
Yeah, yeah. But you just mentioned about the diet part. So what
Mhm,
what about the diet part? So mind you, I'm just coming in. I just got out of uh, rehab, or just got out of prison, or whatever,
mhm,
or I'm just I just made a decision that I want to try this. I want to try the lifestyle of physical fitness and work and get my health on track. What
Okay.
what about the diet? Where's what is it all based on your size, your age? What about the diet?
Well, the important thing about the diet is, again, I know you've heard your parents perhaps say this. Well, when you were younger, and even now, like the stuff that
That
they
was a
ate.
long time ago. That was a
You know what I
long
mean?
time ago, man.
Right. Well, I would always hear my parents say when I was younger, like, "Oh, the stuff y'all eat now, they don't make it like they used to." And now me being at the age of 47, which in another what, in another 10 more days? No, in another 13, 14 more days, excuse me, 14 more days, I'll be 48 years old. You know what I mean? Thank God. So, um,
Yeah,
in that situation, man, your diet is one of the most important thing because the stuff they putting out here in these foods now, this processed foods, is killing us. And everything is just made faster now. Growing up, we didn't have no microwaves. We used the oven, we used the
uh,
stove top. But now, as time goes on, people want things faster. You know what I mean?
everything.
So now we got the microwaves and so forth. We don't do the things like we used to, and I think it's important to look at what we're putting in our body, man. Like all those corner stores that we a lot of times we go to, chips and all the other stuff, man, the stuff is not good for you. It's stuff, and again, it may not show up now, but as time goes on, it will show up sooner or later. You know what I mean? With the high blood pressure, the high cholesterols, or something even worse. You know what I mean? Clogging your arteries up, you can have a heart attack, a stroke. So I always encourage people, start investing in yourself, which is the best investment you can make. Invest in yourself. Start doing some research. Google. Nowadays we got a computer in the palm of our hands.
All
You know what
day.
I mean? Start Googling like what foods are good, like what foods are not good. And really start getting at me because I can go on and on about what you should eat, but again, I want people to start taking initiative because I could talk to anybody to the blue in the face, but you have to want it. You have to want it, man. And when you want it and you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, you'll start taking initiative to start doing the things going in that direction. And that's what it takes. And when you start going in those directions, you'll be surprised how God start putting the right people in your life to help you along that way, whether it be knowledge, information, you know what I mean, whether it be, just taking you under the wing and training you, however it be, once you get on that right path, it just more and more doors will start opening up for you.
You said a whole lot. You said a whole lot right there, man. Because there's some people that's been placed in my life with, you know, uh, recently, and everything seems so much more. It's a lot more simple than just being floating around on my own with my own thoughts, having somebody else to bounce ideas off of, and people that really have your best interest at heart, no matter what it is, whether it's addiction, whether it's your health, whether it's just your living situation, whatever.
That's
But you said a whole lot just then. But
right.
we're winding down a little bit because I just wanted to know also with the fitness part and the health part, genetics is a big part of uh, our in physical fitness. Is can you combat genetics, or is that just like a given? Genetics is always going to be dominant over everything else in physical fitness or in health.
Um,
I'm
Genetics.
going to see why I say that. I say that because I've seen a lot of uh, those smaller guys, like super duper skinny guys, but you know they don't really show a lot under the shirt,
Mhm.
but they're putting up 400 pounds. And then you have somebody like me coming there, and I'm struggling with 250. But
Mhm.
yeah, that's why I'm saying like genetics is what where do you stand with the genetic part in fitness and health?
Well, genetics definitely plays a part. Um, As far as how significant, I would say out of 1 to 100, I would say genetics would probably play maybe maybe 30%, maybe I would say. But also it plays a part is technique, as you were just mentioning about
Technique.
how you have somebody in the gym that's small, but yet they putting up way more weight and they way smaller than you. So technique plays a part. Also, again, your diet. You know what I mean? What you're fueling your body to be able to go into that gym and do. Like for me, years ago, I used to take a pre-workout. It was something that was out called Jack 3D, 6, 7 years ago. And I used to take that and come to find out some people died from that, had heart attacks from that because it caused heart palpitations and all that kind of craziness. But anyway, um, now that I know better, I haven't took no pre-workout again in probably 5, 6 years. I take an apple, I eat a banana 30, 40 minutes before I go to the gym, just to give you that what you need, that pep to go in there. Um, so again, it's knowledge. It's about just having knowledge about certain things, having understanding how certain things go. But genetics, I mean, for me, again, I've never took any type of illegal drugs, on steroids, TRT, none of that. But I'm coming in the game with 21, 22-inch arms. When I was 290, 300, I had 23-inch arms. You know
Stop
what I mean? So
bragging,
you could,
man.
you know, I'm just saying because I want people to understand that you don't have to do this to get that. You don't have to do it. You know what I mean? All you gotta do is have the knowledge of what to put in your body to fuel it and put the work in.
Be
That's it.
consistent.
That's
Dedication.
it. Consistency is key in anything across the board. Anything. Whether it be recovery, you know what I mean? Whether it be working out, training, whether it be a relationship, uh, consistency, business, consistency is the key cross board.
And you just hit me in my heart when you're talking about being consistent in relationships because I ain't got none. But yeah. But I just wanted to just get back. One more thing, and I promise you that I'm not gonna hold you much longer.
No, you
One more
good, brother.
thing.
Take your time. Take
Um,
your time.
when you're training, when you're training, either yourself or other people,
Mm.
what is the breakdown for? What do you think? What is the breakdown for your like your I guess your routine? Because I hear a lot of people say I'm going to take a day off. I'm going to skip a whole day. I'm not going to do anything. Then I hear other people say I'm going to do legs today. I'm going to do chest tomorrow. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. What is the break? What is the breakdown? What do you feel? Is there a certain way, or I'm just asking questions that other people might ask.
Sure.
Um,
Sure.
what works? What works? I'm just going to say what works for you because, but we all know that everything's not going to work for everybody. But what
Sure.
works for you?
When it comes to working out, one of the things I do, I always hit like two body parts every time I'm in the gym. I do what they call push and pull. If I'm working on, and my push would be bench pressing, triceps, anything dealing with the pushing movement from up there. I also do after that. I do a pulling movement, such as biceps or back, any type of pulling movement. So I always do a push and pull to bring that split in there. Um, Also, for me personally, I always train each body part at least 2 to 3 times a week, um, to really get the most out of it. And for me, one of the things I push is isometrics. I do everything slow and controlled.
I noticed
A
that.
lot of people, in the gym, they do the repping out. And listen, it's nothing wrong. There's a time and place for all that. But for me, I like to be able to kill two birds with one stone. I like to be able to get more out of my workout. So I'd rather build strength, size, and endurance. And that's how I do it, through slow and controlled movements. It incorporates more muscle fibers. It's so much more that benefits from doing slow and control or isometrics. It builds strength. It builds your endurance when you're sitting there holding that weight and you're coming down slow on that negative. It's just a whole different way of training, and I found that to be the best results for me and for those who I've trained.
All right. Okay. That now I'm not gonna go too much further with all that, right?
You
Because
good?
you know
You
I'm
good?
sore now and I ain't even done nothing. Honestly, I ain't even mess with. I keep telling you this little 30-pound dumbbell. This might be all you get for 6 months out of me. But
Hey, listen, it don't take much, man. That's another thing too. Like, it's that popular belief that for you to actually build size, you got to do heavy, heavy weight. Listen, for me, coming from a background doing powerlifting, it does not take that. Heavy weight, yes, will build strength. But if you're looking to build strength, size, and endurance, you take a moderate weight and you do high reps with it. And you push that high reps. I always try to, nothing for me is below 10, 12 reps. I'm always 15 and higher. That's what I shoot for. And you'll build that size, you'll build strength and endurance, incorporating that slow and controlled movements as well.
is that
It
what you
don't take
talking about?
heavy weight.
Is that talking about as far as like using lighter weight as far as doing to get your reps up? I don't know if you remember, but I used to be a little, well, now I'm a little chubbier, but I was like really round at one point. I was a little round guy, but uh but I did a lot of calisthenics, jogging in place and jumping jacks and squats and all that type of stuff. But then I started doing a high reps with really light weights, like maybe a 25, 30-pound dumbbell. But just,
Mhm.
and this was a constant thing between that and doing pull-ups and dips and all those type of things. And the trim down factor was there. Really,
Yes.
really slimmed down because it didn't bulk, because of not using heavier weights.
Hmm.
But with that being said, also the food intake is a big part of that.
That's key.
Because you have to be able to burn off,
That's right.
your body, but you have to feed your body too. But I'm gonna leave that to you. I'm gonna leave that to you to talk about feeding, burning off what you put in.
Hmm. Um, hold on. Make sure I understand you. What's the question again?
When you're feeding, when you're trimming down or working, when you're trying to bulk or slim down or trim down,
Right.
when your intake factor as far as what you're eating, how you're
Hmm.
eating, how much you're eating, when you're trying to trim down or if you're trying to bulk up,
Oh, okay.
especially when using different, varieties of weights.
Hmm.
So,
For good. I'm sorry.
yeah, go ahead.
Now, for me, now, if you're looking to trim down, there's several approaches you can do for that, but the most simplistic way is whatever you're taking in, your calorie intake, you want to just lessen that. So if you're taking in, say, 3,000 calories a day, then you want to start breaking it down. Start with 2,000, and then you start breaking down to 1,500, and you start breaking those calories down. Um, and that's basically one of the best ways to start trimming down and losing the weight. As far as water is important as well. Your water intake, very, very important. To help flush your system out, hydrate you. Now, if you're looking to bulk, of course, your bulking would be is your carbs and your protein intake. And most importantly, is what kind of carbs and protein you're putting in your body, which makes a difference. You got your bad carbs, which will be your white rice. Your good carbs will be your wild rice or perhaps brown rice. You know what I mean? Your bad carbs would be white potatoes, where your good carbs would be, say, like your sweet potatoes or your purple potatoes. They also have those.
Yes.
Um, so again, it's knowing which one's good, what's not, and again having just the knowledge and understanding behind that. Again, nowadays, if you don't have a personal trainer or someone you can afford to be able to teach you these things or guide you through, you got a computer in the palm of your hands. And
All day
literally
long.
all it takes is just asking the question, what's a good carb or what's a bad carb? And just go from there. Just taking that initiative, you know what I mean?
All right. You mentioned about these different colored potatoes. I was kind of amazed. Was it like I guess a month ago or so? I never
Uh,
saw a purple sweet potato, and
yeah, purple.
I saw a
Yeah.
purple and looking at this sweet potato, it was actually purple on the inside. I was like, I've never seen that
Exactly.
look alien. Look alien
Yes.
to me. But
That's
yeah, I
actually one
saw
of
it.
the best ones. Yeah.
I was like, wow. But all right, man. Thank you for being on tonight, man. You gave us some information that I'm hoping that people will either look up research for themselves, or or just try to take advantage of the information and use it to their benefit once they hit the gym. Once they try to get that beach body right, or get that body right for this, get their summer body right. Um,
Absolutely.
I'm
Absolutely.
you had me stuck when you were talking about the dieting part, and I know I need to do something about it. But we'll talk about that later. But
Sure.
I just popped the information up on the screen. But I don't know if there's any other information that you have for individuals that might want to be to get in contact with you. What do you have for people that might want to um, contact you other than uh, what's on the screen? Is there anything else?
Again, definitely, I appreciate that. On the screen, that's all the platforms that I'm on. I'm on TikTok, I'm on YouTube, I'm on Instagram, Facebook, and I'm also on Threads. And I see you have that up there. All you gotta do is DM me if you got any questions or you need any type of assistance with your training. Please reach out. I'll be more than glad to help in any way that I can. I enjoy helping people. That's one of the first and foremost things of why I do what I do. Is just I enjoy helping people. I love seeing the success of people. I love seeing the before and afters. So again, just shoot me a message, let me know, and I'll be sure to get back with you in due time. I do try to check my messages as much as possible, but more so on the weekends is when I normally get time to really check the messages and get back with people. So if you do and I don't get back right away, just please be patient with me. I definitely will, because I do get a lot of people asking questions or a lot of feedback, and I answer back everyone personally. I get back to everybody. I do. So yeah, please shoot me a DM. I definitely get back.
All right, y'all heard it first. You heard it from the man himself, the fitness expert, Mr. Wilfredo Pinkston. Thank you for being on the episode for tonight, man. And just hoping that somebody got something out of the information that was passed on for tonight, and that we use this information to better our lifestyle and our healthy living lifestyle. Thank you for being on us for tonight. Thank you everybody for watching. For that, thank you for everybody that is going to watch later on YouTube. Thank you for being a part of Life Chat Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to check out Mr. Wilfredo Pinkston, aka Willpower, on all platforms. WILPWR. Be sure to be on the lookout for other episodes coming up on Life Chat Podcast. Thank you for joining me. Good night. Be safe.
Welcome to the Life Chat Podcast, seeking the truth with Derek Powell, navigating you through. Every Wednesday night, new topics ignite. Join the journey, let's take flight. Bringing insights that change our view. Derek's voice, clear and true. Tune in each week, discover new light. Life Chat Podcast, reach a new height.